Hey, welcome, family, to My Irreligious Life podcast with your host, Jermaine Thomas, aka The Professor. Deconstructing and deconverting from your faith is a very difficult journey. The process can have psychological and emotional implications. Join us as we have a heartwarming and engaging dialogue around this and so much more. Let's get it, family. Hey, family. This is Jermaine Thomas with another hashtag Not Your Theologian Moment. If you see me up and down your timeline, don't tune me out, tune me in. Let me just do some preliminary checks, make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. All right, here we go. If you come in, say hi. I'll try to follow you between here and on Facebook. So, all right, I think I'm coming in loud and clear. Yep. All righty. Okay, yep. All right. Good. If you've if you've been tracking with me, uh, I've been hitting on this particular topic, and I did a series of posts relative to it, and a series of YouTube videos that I hope you had an opportunity to review. I did repost part two earlier today. And so, if you get a chance to really capture all of what I'm saying, then to start at part one would do you some justice. But I did post another video to give a recap of what I covered in my series one and two. But today I am going to end this series and just do part three. Voice of an Empire, a critique of American prophetic culture. And when I initially started this, or the message I was conveying was to bring awareness to um, American prophetic culture. Is critique is necessary, I believe. And in my researching this, in digging deeper, I'm finding other resources that's out here that can mirror, um, that reflects some of the points and things I was making and conveying. And so I'm going to play a few scholars um, relative to that in a few. I just want to set pace for part three and what I hope to accomplish. If you want to jump into the dialogue and conversation, I would greatly appreciate it. That'll help. Um, bring this alive and not that I'm just as a lecturer, I'm talking at you, but I'm talking with you in conversation, because this is a conversation I think to be had when we, like I said earlier, you can't talk about uh, the rise of Christian nationalism without unpacking that, and that's what I tried to do is unpack um, historically to present day, where the birthplace of today's American prophetic culture and where it comes from. And so in part one, too, I wanted to give some history, and some context to uh, the prophetic culture if you not privy to prophets and people speaking wild things and you just carrying on with the carrying on, God bless you. And thank God that you've missed that. But and I ain't gonna say for many of us. Uh oh, I don't know what's going on with my computer here. Acting a little crazy. But for many of us that has been exposed to charismatic Pentecostal evangelical Christian culture than you may have in some form or fashion have inroads in, or sometimes some of the popular voices or Christian voices that people follow, they fall within this context, um, relative or reference to this prophetic culture and its alignment seemingly seems to align always with uh, uh, Republican Party or anything Democrat is demonic. We standing for family values. You know those things that you find within the context of Christian fundamentalism. But there's a culture where that thrives, or where I would say religious supremacy thrives within the context of Christianity here in America. And these voices, that claim to be voices of God, um, always seem to frame it in a way that as if America has some type of covenant relationship with God, and or also within that narrative of thinking is also uh, this allegiance to Israel, that somehow Israel, in keeping Israel purified, or whatever you want to say with that, but that Israel is linked into this idea that no matter what Israel does, is God's chosen people or nation, and this is extended into the Christian theology of eschatology and these views. So it all overlaps, you all. It's the point I'm really trying to make here. You can't really talk about one without, these are all links in a chain. That's good. That's a good analogy. Um, uh-oh. I hope I'm coming in. But that's a good analogy. These are all links in a chain, so you can't talk about one without the other. Um, and so when you talk about Christian nationalism, you have to talk about um, uh, the New Apostolic Reformation movement, and this is the movement, the fivefold, the apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers. That movement. Um, so the New Apostolic Reformation movement, the Seven Mountain Mandate, is another link in the chain, and this this theology, dominionism, is another link on the chain, and they all create this chain, this weight of that they say is Christianity. But when you hold up the weight of the links of these chains, it reminds you of colonial Christianity. It reminds you of the same ideology, that was housed in the minds and the hearts of Puritans when they came to a land that was already preoccupied, and they came with a mindset to create a Christian nation for God. And so it's all connected, and I hope that makes sense to those that's familiar. If you're not, again, I'm gonna cite some scholars tonight to reinforce what I'm saying, and they have scholarly written, research based commentary, that speaks into the depths of what I'm bringing attention to relative to this prophetic culture in America. And I don't care what prophet it is, uh, even the most popular. And it's another video. I think I want to highlight that if I get an opportunity to get to that, and I try not to rant on that long. But let me just bring it on back. And so that was the heart of having this conversation and dialogue, and I hope it's something that um, that you would continue to have. And I end with how we can counter these voices of empire. Um, and I said this too, that I really wasn't on the well, I'm not for or against the prophetic culture in and of itself. So this is not really that, but I do want to say, just for the record, when it comes to prophetic gifts, or how that's how I would characterize it, because that's the branch of Christianity I came up in, right? So we spiritual gifts, but this idea of having revelation and insight from the divine is not a outright Christian concept, right? Um, this existed in other cultures. Oh, okay. Looks like my okay. What's going on here? It's saying that oops, Facebook stopped your broadcast. You can learn more. Oh, okay. What's going on? Let's see. I don't know if I'm still live, you all. This is I might have to just go live straight from Facebook. Let's see. This is when it's getting good. The devil getting the mix. So I'm going to stop this live. Um, we stop this, and I'm gonna go back. Or if I'm coming in live, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you just double check, make sure I'm coming in loud. Wait a minute. Yeah, it looked like it did cut me off.